Neil Ratner Rock Doc with a story on the morning of the blizzard of 2017 here in Woodstock, New York. A couple of days ago marked the 46th anniversary of the Allman Brothers record at the Fillmore East. What many people don't know is that if it wasn't for my old boss, Steve Paul, it could have been a vastly different sounding album. The Allman Brothers' second album, Idlewild South, had yet to achieve commercial success, but the band's popularity and reputation began to grow due to their live performances. According to Greg Allman, we just played and played, one gig after another. You gotta remember that we spent 300 days on the road in 1970. I mean, we were never home. All we did was play, man. And they weren't traveling in Learjets and limos. They were traveling around in a Ford Econoline van, which they eventually got rid of, and they upgraded to a Winnebago, which they affectionately called the Windbag. Now, the Allman Brothers first played the Fillmore East in December of 1969, opening for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Bill Graham, the promoter, really liked the band and promised he would have them back really soon. Well, a month later, in January 1970, the band opened for Buddy Guy and B.B. King at the Fillmore West in San Francisco, and a month later, they were back at the Fillmore East supporting the Grateful Dead. It was almost as if the Allman Brothers had become the house band for the Fillmore. Now, while on the road, Dwayne realized something. Now, according to Greg, my brother had always believed a live album was what the brothers needed to do, and we finally got the record company to agree. The Fillmore was just the logical choice. I don't even think we discussed another venue. Butch Trucks added, that was one of the first places the audience really got it. Let's hear a little Allman Brothers at the Fillmore. Now, the shows were set for March 11th through 13th, 1971. And the ads for the shows read, Bill Graham presents in New York, Johnny Winter and Elvin Bishop Group, extra added attraction, Allman Brothers. So the Allman Brothers would open the show with Johnny as the headliner. Well, after the Allmans played their first set on Thursday, the opening night, half the audience got up and walked out. Steve Paul, Johnny's manager, saw it all go down. He was very unhappy and he said, well, I guess Johnny is going to be opening for the Allman Brothers from now on, because we can't have that happen again. And according to Butch Trucks, if that hadn't happened, we absolutely wouldn't have had all the time to do all the stretching out that led to at Fillmore East. We only had 90 minutes, and we had songs that lasted longer than that. Well, they did make the album, and the album has since been chosen by the Library of Congress and is part of the National Recording Registry, and it's on most everybody's list of the greatest albums of all time. Now, I wasn't there on those nights. I was on the road with Ed Gawinter, who was also managed by Steve, and I heard the story firsthand from Steve. But on June 27th, a few months later, I was with Edgar when we played closing night at the Fillmore East. and I stayed around to see the Allman Brothers set. What can I say? They played until about 5 or 6 in the morning, and I couldn't think of a better ending for what had been the great church of rock and roll. All right, that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Neil Ratner, Rock Doc. Have a great day, and if you're anywhere near this blizzard, man, stay inside and stay safe, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.